Hello, you guys. I'm Carlos Ramirez, and I'm here just about to start a whole episode with Wesley Foundation directors. And on behalf of their campuses, and you will hear it too from their own voices, but we want to thank you for all your support that you have provided for these different campuses all across our state. So if you're looking perhaps in how to connect with young adults, you will hear plenty of opportunities as to how your local congregation can be a ministry with young adults in campus ministry and beyond. So there will be many opportunities and many examples where you can plug in and jump in into this. And perhaps you are already a committed United Methodist congregation that it is constantly in ministry with any campus ministry across our state, and we want to thank you. And this is just another reminder of what you are doing with your ministry, with your support, with your presence, your witness of these important ministries, as I said, across our state, but particularly in your local area, of what the impact and the difference you are making through your witness and your support to these campus ministers. So thank you, and without further ado, we're going to start our special episode of Campus Ministries. Hello everybody, I'm Carlos here. I'm today with Ali Shahan. She is the campus minister at OCU, and she will tell us all about it. So without further ado, please, Ali, tell us all about where are you, who are you, just to the good people of Oklahoma, and where is your ministry?
Wonderful. So I'm Ali Shahan. My official title is the Director of University Church Relations and Religious Life at OCU. And so in formal settings, I get to tell people all about the 3 different areas that I am in charge of at OCU. The University Church Relations part is really just kind of act as a liaison between the annual conference, the United Methodist Church, and OCU, because OCU is affiliated with the United Methodist Church. And then the Office of Religious Life is twofold, because I am in charge of, I don't know that in charge of is the right word. I act as an advocate for all of the religious organizations on campus.
Wow.
So we have Muslim Student Association, we have the Jewish Stars, we have Catholic Student Association, Baptist Collegiate Ministries, and there are a number of other ones, but I want to support all of them. Sure. I want every student on campus to have a safe community, because I believe that religious community helps people thrive. Yes, so that is the bigger part of that. And then my favorite part is to be the campus minister of the Wesley Center, which is our United Methodist campus ministry.
Yay, yay. Yeah. Well, with that, so what is, as campus ministry at Oklahoma City University, what is your main outlet for ministry, or outlets of ministry that you do?
Yeah, so we have 2 worship services every week, which is a lot, and it's so fun. We have a more traditional or liturgical service, we call it. That's on Thursdays. That's actually open to anyone who wants to come. So if you are in the city, or if you're ever around the city, anyone can come to those. Those are Thursdays at 1 o'clock, and the music is just outstanding. Right. OCU has a really incredible school of music, and so we have some of our bigger choirs on campus that will come. We'll have music ensembles that will lead things as well. And then we typically will have guest preachers there, because it is a university, and I think it's so important to have different backgrounds, different contexts, different theologies that are preached from the pulpit, so that our students are able to hear things and say, do I believe this thing? Maybe I don't, maybe I do. And then they're able to discern that, and then through that discernment, they can start to build their own faith, and they know what they believe and why they believe it. And then the other service we have is on Monday nights. That's called Wesley Worship. It's at 7 o'clock, and that's our more stereotypical, I guess you would call it, a Wesley Center service. So that's a contemporary service. We have a student band that comes. I typically will preach at those. We have student leaders who will offer the prayer. Sometimes they'll offer the welcome or do the announcements. They'll read the scripture. We'll celebrate Holy Communion, and then at the end we always have a free dinner, and that is one of my favorite parts of the whole week. A goofy thing that we started last year that we've actually won some awards on campus for is something that's called Tiny Mic. And so one of my student workers bought a tiny mic that she connects to her phone, and she comes up with a question each week, and then she'll go around and interview or ask the students to do it. And the students love that, because they like to see themselves on camera. But they're also able to then take that video and share it so that people on campus will see, oh, I know that person, oh, I know that person. And it's not just a real stuffy, what you would think of as a church, right?
Yeah.
That we have fun, and it's so great.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a great idea. So would you want to share a good story, or well, more than a good story, a story that you guys through your ministry have touched the lives of a person or persons around that recently has happened? And I know that happens all the time.
Yeah, it's so exciting. I'll start off by saying that over the last 2.5 years, our campus ministry has grown by 400%.
Wow.
It's been really incredible to see, and I know a big part of that's due to COVID, that people kind of stopped going to stuff. They stopped wanting to be involved, and now that the excitement's growing again. But it's just really wonderful to see. We've done some updates and renovations in the area downstairs, so now it's a place people want to be. But a story really that sticks out to me is last year we had he was an international student, He's from Nigeria. His name is King David. And he came to us and was just asking for prayers. And I asked for more information on that, and he said that he arrived to Oklahoma, got to his apartment, and found out that it was not furnished. He had no idea it wasn't furnished.
Wow.
So he and a bunch of his friends were living in a 2-bedroom apartment with no furniture.
Wow.
They had no silverware, utensils. They were sleeping on the floor. So we found that out. The Office of Religious Life, there were other people on campus as well as Wesley United Methodist Church, pulled things together and bought them furniture, made sure they had what they needed. So that really kind of kickstarted the relationship. But he came to me one day, and he was a business major, and he was like, I really don't like math, so I'm not sure what to do. And I said, well, probably not business, if that's not your thing. I asked him what he liked. So he was like, well, I really love God. And I said, well, have you ever thought about ministry? And he said, I have thought about ministry. I know I would be great at that. I just don't know how to do it. I said, you're in luck. We have a great school of religion. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you.
Yeah. Have just incredible scholarship funds that we can help set up for you. So anyway, told him to think about it, told him to pray about it. I would be praying with him as well. So he went and talked to Dr. Leslie Long, and he got set up, and he was like, I just didn't even know this was a possibility for me. So he is now a sophomore religion major and is now a certified candidate in ministry here in our annual conference. And so I think that really just kind of ties into how I think supporting OCU is a little different, because we are not just a campus ministry. We are training and supporting and encouraging your future pastors. We have an incredible school of religion that then feeds into seminaries, and so when you support OCU, you're not just supporting a thriving campus ministry, you're also doing things to support our future pastors in our annual conference.
That's awesome. That's a great story. That's awesome. So let's say that there are many congregations there in the metro area, OKC metro area, that would like to get involved with your ministry. So what would be some options for them to be in ministry with you guys?
We have 2 service projects every single month that the university does, that the campus ministry does. But my favorite way to get churches involved is to invite them to sponsor one of our Monday night dinners. And there are some churches that will cook the food, will then bring it and then leave. Some will just make a financial contribution, and then that will help as well. But my favorite is whenever we have people who will do either of those options, but then some of the congregation members will come to worship with us. And so they sit in the seats with our students, and then they come and they serve the students. And every time we have students who say, why are these people here? Who are these people? And I get to tell them that that's what the United Methodist Church is about. We are all about connection, and these people love you and pray for you even though they don't know you. And those are our students' favorite Mondays, or when we have congregation members just come and hang out with us.
So can you tell the good people of Oklahoma how can they reach you?
Yes, so you can reach me. My email is ashahan1@okcu.edu. Also, if you are wanting to see kind of what's going on at OCU with Religious Life, we have a Facebook page. The Wesley Center also has a Facebook page, but we're also very active on Instagram. So, yeah.
All right, you heard it here, you guys. So Alice Shahan will be expecting, and hopefully many phone calls or emails, emails, not phone calls anymore.
Yeah.
Emails.
Yeah, that's easier.
It's easier about getting in contact with the ministry. So thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do, and see you soon. Hello, you guys. I'm Carlos. I'm here today with Dana Hugo, and I am so excited because she is here today from the Eastern Oklahoma State College campus ministry, and she's going to tell us all about it. So, as I said, without further ado, please let us know who you are, the good people of Oklahoma. Where is your ministry?
Thank you, and thank you for having us. So we're located in Wilburton, Oklahoma. We are a united ministry, so we're combined with the Catholic, the Episcopal, and the Presbyterian churches as well. Although the United Methodist Church has always been the leader among the group, and we are the ones that facilitate all of the programming. So we're excited. We do a significant campus ministry with our international students and with our athletes. We're a junior college, so very much a commuter campus. So we have a lot of awareness events, but then our bulk of our group is those international students and those athletes that are from other areas and really don't have a network locally, and they need that additional support.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So what are the main outlets of ministry that you guys do in a day-to-day basis?
That's a great question. So our day-to-day basis, every Thursday we do an activity. And in the fall, those activities range from how to have a civil discussion about difficult topics, which is one of our students' absolute favorite activities and events because we don't practice that in society that much, and so they want to talk about social issues in a way that's in a safe, hospitable environment. We talk about building our faith. We also talk about very practical things like how to do laundry and how to cook, and and we provide space for them to come cook foods that they're comfortable with and that they have from home, because those are not always foods that you see in a cafeteria type setting. So a lot of those types of activities. Then in the spring, we make a shift and a transition. We're more about spiritual development, faith formation, and then we do a lot of community outreach, and we try to give back to our local community that is so supportive of us. So we do things like build wheelchair ramps, or we clean up people's yards and things like that.
Do you offer worship services?
So we actually provide transportation to all of our local churches, and it doesn't matter any church within our community, we make sure that our students have transportation.
That's awesome.
Because of that ministry, we at our local Methodist church have a significant number of our students that attend. We're just started a new music ministry, and some of them are getting involved in that music ministry. We also started 3 years ago an internship program. That has been fantastic. So we transitioned as a local church from a full-time minister to a licensed local pastor, and it left us with a parsonage that was unused. So that parsonage is now the housing opportunity for our intern program, which is fantastic. It also has created a larger leadership team among our campus ministry. Those leaders typically become lay readers in our church services. They usually help lead at least one church service of the spring, so it's exciting. And it gives them the ability to go on and do ministry in their next setting.
That's awesome. That's great. Preparing them for the future.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Would you like to share a story or stories of, something that has happened recently where you saw God touching the people's lives through your ministry?
Absolutely. So I spoke about that leadership group, and so over the last 2 years, we've had a number of leaders as a part of that group. Last year's group and the group that transitioned from the year before, there were 5 leaders that were very strong on our core leadership team. And all 5 of those leaders transitioned to other colleges and universities that are faith-based. Every single one of them is involved in campus ministry or in leadership in a local church in their new setting. But one of the most touching stories, I told you we work a lot with international students. We had a young man from England that came and got involved in leadership, became one of our interns, and said, you know, I've never been involved in church like this. It's just not the same in England. And so when he went home for Christmas, he was baptized in his home church in England, came back as one of our very strong leaders, and now is involved in his church again there in England. So helping make sure that we're making disciples, not just here locally, but out in the larger world, not just even here in America.
I mean, that's amazing. Talking about making disciples for the transformation of the world. I mean, you guys are doing it. I mean, that's amazing. And anyway, that's pretty cool. That's amazing. That's pretty cool. So say that there are local congregations around, just so Wilburton is around the McAllister area, Eastern Oklahoma, and they're around and they're thinking, hey, I would like to connect with this wonderful ministry at Wilburton. How can they do that? What will be some outlets to do that?
We love that. We love having church members come, community members come and work with our students. So on those Thursdays, or if Thursday's not a great day, we can always schedule something on a Wednesday. And so they can come in and share their expertise. So our students like to know about career opportunities. They like to know about volunteer opportunities. Many of them, so this group sort of grew up during COVID and COVID years. So they're interested in the larger world. They're interested in giving back and getting involved. But they don't always know how to do that because they missed some vital pieces during their education journey. So they're really interested in that. So we would invite people to come in and share. Also, just get to know our students. I think it gives you a lot of hope and perspective for the next generation of leaders because they're amazing and they have wonderful thoughts on social issues and faith development. So that's a great way. We can always use support at the beginning of the semester. We help provide some blankets and sheets for students who may not financially be able to afford that. We're always looking for small mini fridges and microwaves because we have a ministry where we check those out to our students. So because our students stay for either 1 year or 2 years and often can't take those things with them. So that way we can check them in and out. So that's a great opportunity. And of course, we appreciate any financial support that you're able to give because that allows us to feed students when our cafeteria is not open. It allows us to meet those special needs that a student may have. Sometimes a coach or a professor will call us and a student might need some help with some health issues, mental health issues, or some physical issues that are going on. And so it allows us to meet those special needs that come up.
So if they want to reach you, where would that be the best way to reach to you?
So I would encourage everyone to connect with us with either on Facebook or Instagram. So United Ministry EOSC, or they can reach me at 918-465-6234. That's my cell phone number. You're always welcome to call or text me, and I will get back to you about how to get your church or you as an individual involved in our campus ministry.
Well, there you have it. So you heard it here at Circle Update, and that's a way to connect with the Eastern Oklahoma State College and this wonderful ministry that's happening over there. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for traveling all this far, being here today, and enjoy your time with the other campus ministers, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Hello, you guys. I'm today here with my good friend, Reverend Elizabeth Horton Ware, and she will tell us all about her ministry at OU Wesley Foundation. So please, if you'd like to introduce yourself to the good people of Oklahoma.
Sure. So I'm the campus minister at OU, the University of Oklahoma, the Wesley, right there, right off campus. If you are a Sooner fan, you've probably walked by our building, Lindsay and Elm. We're the closest campus ministry to the football stadium.
Right.
Right. That's our big claim to fame.
It is pretty close.
It is real close.
Yes,
yeah.
It is close. So, tell also the good people of Oklahoma, what are your main outlets of ministry and outreach to the students there that you guys do?
each week we're having worship service on Tuesday nights. We have a really thriving international ministry that Reverend Fuchsia Wang oversees, and she's a missionary from General Board of Global Ministries. So that's awesome work. We have things almost every day of the week, but one of our hugest outreach events has just happened. The week of OU Texas, we bring a car to our front lawn, and about 100 students will bash the car in.
Wow.
And so it gets a lot of attention on campus. Like all the student news outlets come and take, people write papers about it or do video recordings. And this year News 9 included us in like a TikTok. So we were pretty excited. Yeah.
That's great. Will you tell us a good, what God is doing in touching people's lives through the Wesley that you can recently tell us about?
So this is a story. They asked us to think through stories, and yesterday I went in. We're preparing for worship, and I said to a bunch of my student leaders and interns, I was like, whose story should I tell? And they're like, oh, mine. And I was thinking, gosh, I really have such great students that their lives are being shaped and molded by our community and by the work of God. But thinking in particular of one student going through kind of a tough time, and she's, we've walked with her as her pastors, right? Sit down in our office. But a few weeks ago, I couldn't be there. And all of a sudden I was getting texts from another student and like, hey, I'm going to help Pal, my friend, with this situation. And she was like, going back and forth about like, here's what I'm asking for, and this is the things I'm going to help her with. And I can't be there all the time, right? I'm not mom.
Right.
I'm not social worker or therapist.
Yeah.
And so we point the way a lot. But when a student and a student who's been mentored in faith and thought through how to care for each other, that's just amazing to see them live into the example of Christian community together. And, and that kind of thing happens all the time, right? And sometimes I won't even know until after the fact that so-and-so stepped up and so-and-so really was my brother and sister in Christ. And you wish they never went through hard times, but we know we all do.
Of course.
Yeah. And
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was really awesome. It was.
Yeah, living out the witnessing.
Yeah. And awesome. It's awesome when you're like, and I can trust that, and I don't feel like I need to come and rescue.
Right.
And and then in just a few years, they'll be in churches and they'll be caring for y'all.
Yes, that's awesome. Transforming the world.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yes, a community. So let's say that people around Norman area, maybe even the Oklahoma City Metro, but maybe just kind of southern part of it, they would like to be involved in the ministry, what the Wesley Foundation at OU is doing. So what would be some outlets, or how would you invite people to be?
I mean, I'm sure all of us are going to talk about meals, right?
Right.
And one of the unique things is our Thursday night ministry, and our students from Africa and our staff from China, they cook the meal.
Wow.
Right? Like to make a home cooked meal. Well, then there's a kitchen full of things, and we have worship right after. And so washing dishes would be a huge help for us. Saying, okay, I'm going to be there to clean the dishes so that students can go to worship.
Right.
And, that's such a gentle volunteer thing. The best thing you can do is get the word out, right? Tell your students, pray for us. We want to care for your kids, grandkids, neighbors, etc.
Yes. So, if for those who are there, how would they reach out to you?
Okay. You can call us at the Wesley, 405-321-6266, and that gets my administrative assistant, and she can start with that contact information, or you can holler at me, elizabeth@okwesley.org, and that will also get you plugged in. And we'd love to meet you and hang out.
All right, so you heard it here too. So there's a way that you can reach out to Reverend Elizabeth Horton Ware to reach out to OU Wesley Foundation. So thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
And have a good one.
Thank you.
Hello, you guys. I'm Carlos, and I'm here today with Angie Lawrence, and she's going to tell us all about her ministry, the campus ministry, and everything that she's doing with her ministry. So, Angie, would like to introduce yourself to the good people of Oklahoma. Where is your ministry and where you are working at?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Angie Lawrence, and I am the campus director at the NSU Wesley in Tahlequah.
Tahlequah.
Yes.
Yeah, I have a good friend there that said some people that are from the outside, they said that they don't know how to pronounce Tahlequah, and they go Tahlequah.
Tahlequah.
Yeah,
Yes,
Tahlequah.
that's the most common mispronunciation.
Yeah,
Yes.
Tahlequah. I love the Tahlequah. So pretty.
It's beautiful.
So, what is your main outreach to in your campus ministry in there, or do you have many outlets, or many ways?
We have a couple of ways, but our main outreach is food.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes,
sure.
that's the best way to reach a college student.
Yes.
We do a free student lunch every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We don't have a hard 2 p.m. close because sometimes we'll have students coming in till 3. If we've got food left, we're feeding them. And then we also have a student food pantry. The Oklahoma Food Bank actually partners with us with this, and we have an intern at the Wesley who that's his heart, and he puts so much into that. And connecting students with the food pantry, and because food insecurity is a big concern in Tahlequah and in Cherokee County right now. We're one of the most impoverished counties in Oklahoma, and surrounded by the other most impoverished counties. So we it's a big concern. Most of our students at NSU are on scholarship, and we think it's wonderful that food is one less thing they have to be concerned with while they're trying to get their degree.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome. So, could you tell us, all these things that you guys are doing, how God is touching the lives of people through your ministry, and what you can tell us about something that lately has happened that you can see and witness?
I think it's the spiritual growth in our students. The spiritual maturity I'm seeing among our freshmen and sophomore. I think that's what's shocking me with what God's doing. We're seeing them pray with students on our Wednesday lunch. They'll come and start talking to a student, and someone might be struggling, and we'll, students on our leadership team or students who just show up to the Wesley every once in a while who are getting fed weekly and working on spiritual disciplines. You're seeing them reach out to each other.
Yes.
And
wow,
that's what it's about.
Yeah,
It's wonderful.
Yeah. So I'm listening. So you are worshiping too. You have sometimes for worship.
Yes. We actually do a Sunday evening worship.
Oh, you do.
So when our students are, the ones that leave campus on the weekends, when they come back in, they come and join us for dinner, and we'll do worship, and then we fellowship after. And we like to call it family dinner on Sunday nights because it's once a week we come together and. We get to do the worship, but we also get to catch up with what's happened at home, what's happened over the weekend, what are we looking forward to this week, and just decompress and fellowship before the week starts.
That's awesome. So let's say that there's local congregations around Tahlequah, which would be northeast Oklahoma, give or take, right? Muskogee area, all that area. And they say, hey, I would like to be part of the ministry at what is happening at Tahlequah. What would be a good way for churches around you to be part and plug in?
Well, the best way would be to help sponsor a meal. Our Wednesday meals, we feed between 80 to, depending on the week, 200 students.
Wow.
And so it just kind of, it takes a toll financially on us, and but we don't want to stop. This is a need in Tahlequah. So that would be a great way. Another thing we do is every finals week, we do serve breakfast, lunch, and dinner for free for any college student who needs a meal during finals week. That way they can focus on their test and not have to stress about where am I going to eat, when am I going to find time to eat. They come, they can study there. We try and have, just relaxing time. We'll have a moment of devotion on Wednesdays. And that's a good place to volunteer. We're always looking for people to sponsor food. We're always looking for people to come and serve. But that's one of the best ways to serve.
Sure. So how can the people reach out to you? What would be a good way? Email, your office number?
Yes, email at Wesley at ATNSU and then at gmail.com.
Okay, all right. So
or my number to reach me is 918-316-3127.
great.
Yeah.
So there's the information there.
Absolutely.
And reach out, please, to Angie so that more people can be touched and this wonderful ministry can continue. Thank you for being here today. Hello, you guys. I'm Carlos, and I'm here today with James Hunt from the Oklahoma State University Campus Ministry. He's going to tell us all about it. So without further ado, please, James, tell the good people of Oklahoma who you are and where your ministry is.
Yeah, my name is James Hunt. I'm the Director and Campus Minister in Stillwater on the campuses of Oklahoma State University and Northern Oklahoma College. I've got an extension college there, and we've got a few students who are involved at the Wesley. We do the same things as everybody else. We do a weekly worship service. We do ours on Wednesday night, serve a dinner beforehand because pizza slices and chicken strips are an important part of God's ministry
Yes,
to college
it is.
students. And then we do Bible studies throughout the week, men's ministry, women's ministry. What's unique about OSU is that our supporters and donors came together about a decade ago and started planning big. So we've got a beautiful facility right on the corner of campus. We've got our first floor is public space. There's a coffee shop in there.
Wow.
We have tons of people that come through the building every day that they don't participate in the ministry, but we get to offer them Christian hospitality and grace, place to sit down, gather with their friends. So the first floor is all public space, the second floor is worship space, and the third floor is living space. We have 12 apartments there.
Wow.
And we sit right on the edge of campus. Out the front door is the student union. The side door is Greek Row, and the back door are all the bars in town. So that's where we want to do ministry.
So that's right there.
We want to be the hands and feet of Jesus.
You are
right
in the thick of things.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's great. So can you tell how God is touching lives through campus ministry at OSU?
One of the best things that we have done is hand over as much leadership as possible to our students. So we've got an intern team of 10. We pay them a little bit to help them out with school and expenses, and they give back to the ministry by leading everything we hand them. They lead the small groups. They make decisions about how we're doing ministry. They don't just show up to set out the chairs, but they're planning what the worship service looks like. They run the band. And all of our social media is run by somebody a lot younger than me. And so they do a fantastic job. So that's one of the images that I use a lot when I'm guest preaching about the Wesley is the image of Peter and John going up to the temple early in the life of the church in Acts 3, and they reach out their hands, say, I don't have silver or gold, but I'll give you what I got. And so the first few years of ministry, I felt like I was doing this, and the last few years, I've watched my students do it.
That's awesome.
And they're taking people in. They're the ones offering people that healthy community and personal growth.
That's
so
awesome.
Watching them take leadership is really fun.
That's great. That's great. Transforming the world, being witnesses of Jesus Christ. That's awesome. So let's say that there are churches around Stillwater area, the North Central District, give or take, and they want to be part of ministry with you guys. How would be the best way for they can plug in?
The two most important ways. One is to make sure we know their students who are on campus. Almost every church in that part of the state has a student or two who's at OSU. We want to know who they are. If they're looking for a healthy community, some guidance from a pastor, somewhere to connect, we want them to know we're there, so we want to reach out and do that. So just letting us know that the students are there is really important, and that's true for all the campus ministries. The other way for us, it's been really fun the last couple of years. We've re-engaged asking churches to come help with food. And some will bring a whole meal, some will just come in and serve, some will provide snacks for dead week and finals week. People know we're a good place to study. So we give away a lot of food when when everybody's focused on studying. And so helping with the food is one of those ways that everybody in the local church sees how important it is. They get to show up, meet some of the students, and so those are the two easiest ways.
That's great. And how can they reach out to you? Email or?
Yeah, our website is okstatewesley.org, and my email's on there, my cell phone's on there, my associate director is available on there, and so it's okstatewesley.org. It's the easiest place to find us.
They can find it and find all the ways they can plug in.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here today. Is there anything final word that you want to say to the people of Oklahoma?
Well, I do want to tell one story, if
Please
that's
do,
all right.
of course.
The third floor program that we do is really important. It's
Yes.
not just a place to live, but it's a place to grow.
Yes.
And so they have some private space. They've all got private bedrooms, which makes it a nice apartment. But they share a lot of room out in the common area. And every Sunday night we sit down to a dinner. They take turns cooking for each other. We check in, ask for the high point, the low point, and where have you seen God at work this week? And it's my favorite conversation every week. I can sit down with them. And that community is always so diverse. We've had campus achiever types that are top of their class, and ROTC leadership, and we have a lot of engineers that have spent a lot of time working on school and challenging each other to be better. And then 3 different times we've had parents reach out, connected to a Methodist church somewhere. So my kid had some kind of issue, some kind of problem last year. Is this a safe place? And I don't even have to ask what that issue is. I get to tell them yes every time. And there's a young man who had a rough time in the dorms, a hard roommate situation, and he suffers. He was diagnosed with social anxiety disorder, which means leaving your room at all is a difficult challenge. And getting to class and doing your assignments and getting back is a hard day already. And there were times we didn't even see this young man at dinner. He didn't even come on Sunday nights. If he wasn't helping cook, we didn't always see him. And there were people that lived there with him for 2 years and felt like, I'm not even sure I know him very well. But he told his pastor and his mother that he's never had so many good friends. Because these people were welcoming, kind, they gave him space to be himself.
Awesome.
They offered him Christian hospitality, and we got to see the impact that had. And he graduated and has a job, and
that's great.
We're really excited for him. So I love that story. It's watching the community that we wanted to build enact itself.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here again. Thank you for what you guys do, and many blessings upon your ministry.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hello, you guys. I'm Carlos. I'm today here with Jody Broad, and she's going to tell us all about her ministry at Wesley in northwestern Oklahoma State. So will you please tell the good people again who you are and where's your ministry?
Yeah, my name is Jody Brott, and I am the director of the Northwestern Oklahoma State University Wesley, and we are located in Alva, Oklahoma.
Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. And so what are some of the main outreaches that you guys have for students there at the campus?
So our biggest outreach is by far our Thursday lunch. We have a Thursday lunch, obviously, on Thursday. But we serve from 11:30 to 1-ish. We always say ish because we have students, we always wait for the choir kids. The choir kids have class until 1, and they may or may not get out right there at 1 o'clock. And so we always wait for them to come in. So I always tell people, hey, if it's right at 1 o'clock, text me. I have my number there so people can text me to see if we've still got food, because I want to do everything I can to feed them. I don't want anyone to feel like there's food insecurity or anything like that. Like, please come eat. We're going to find you something to eat. Even if we've run out, we're still going to find you something to eat. But yeah, we do our Thursday lunch, and that's one of our greatest ones where we see the most people. My goal there during Thursday lunch is to learn as many names as I possibly can, because when you learn a name, it's like they feel like they're known, and I want them to feel that. I want them to feel comfortable. I want them to feel like they are known. And so we serve about this semester, it's been about 120 to 150 students, and that's so amazing. Give or take something around there. We have local churches that will come in and serve, or we will serve. My husband is an amazing cook, and I am so blessed by that, because I'm not.
Well,
but
you have him.
Yeah, but I have him, so
Yes,
it's good.
that's right.
And I make the cookies, and people love the
There
cookies.
you go. Yes,
So
quite
we
well.
are known for our smash burgers and our cookies,
Ooh,
and
smash
so it's really good. So that's where we see the most people. But then we also have our Monday night, we do women's Bible study, which has grown into a great Bible study. Tuesday nights, we do a co-ed Bible study. And then on Wednesday, or not Wednesday, on Thursday, we do an intergenerational men's Bible study
Oh, cool.
that my husband will lead. And so it's students at Northwestern going up to men who are like 65, but it has become it's a mentorship type of program.
That's great.
So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's great. That's great. That's awesome. That's great. Well, with that in mind, would you mind telling us a story where you can see God touching people's lives and through your ministry?
Oh yeah. So one of my favorite stories is with a student last year. She let me know that her friend had been working on her since she was in the 3rd grade. We were on our way back from a retreat, and she said, I get it. I was like, you get it? And she's like, I get it. She said, my friend has been working on me since I was in the 3rd grade, and now I get it. She's like, you guys are some of the most genuine people that I've ever met, and now I get what they're talking about with Jesus. I get it. And so that one was a really cool thing. And it just makes me think of 1 Corinthians 3:6, where Paul says, I planted, Apollos watered, but God gives the growth.
Right.
Like, we're not responsible for giving the growth. We may not see like the fruition of the seed growing.
Yeah.
But if we water it, we may be the one that's planting the seed. We may be the one that's watering it, but it's God who's giving the growth. And so I love that sometimes we just get to see those things, and it's really cool. There's so many. I mean, that's probably
share.
my favorite one.
Yeah.
But another time is just my first day on the job, is what I'll say. It was my first lunch as director, and I told the students that I wanted them to be equipped with the Word. I had seen a video where someone was like, hey, I'll give you $100 if you could give me a Bible verse. And so I was like, well, I don't have $100 to give, but anyway, so I was like, but hey, if this ever comes, if you are ever like in this situation where someone says, give me a Bible verse, like I want you to be able to do this. So I want to start equipping you with the Word. I want to start like just so that you know what you can give. And of course, we know that it's not about that, but about them learning the Word in their heart. And so at our Thursday lunches, I just started giving a Bible verse each week. So that first week that I was there, I gave a very easy Bible verse. And I will tell you, I am not great with remembering the address, okay, but I can remember the word. Sure. And so I gave them the verse, pray without ceasing. It's a great one. Yeah. Told them, how do we pray? How can we pray without ceasing? We thank God throughout our day. We just, man, thank you that I woke up this morning. Thank you that I can get up and walk. Thank you for the sun that's shining. Thank you for all the things that we're encountering. And then we go ahead and we ask Him those things. We just praise Him, and then we get into that. It's that relationship, not routine, right?
Right.
And so at the end of my talk, I asked a specific student, I said, okay, now can you give me a Bible verse? And he's like, and I was like, pray without ceasing.
Right there.
So apparently that very much embarrassed him. And I felt so horrible. I was like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. So the next week when he came in, thankfully he came back. Well, he came in and he said, I said, I'm not going to call you out today. And he's like, you better not. And I was like, oh no, I really did upset him. And I had planned that day. I had $5 in my pocket. I was going to pay him. I was going to pay whoever, like just like the video did.
Right.
And so I asked, can anyone give me a Bible verse, or even give me the verse from last week? And he goes, pray without ceasing. And I was like, yes! Went over and gave him a high five with the $5 bill. And he was like, what? Oh my gosh. And so ever since then, it's like that actually, what started off as maybe not a great experience for him has actually turned into, he's a senior this year, and it's turned into a situation where every time he sees me, like he knows, like, and he will carry that verse, if not anything else. He will carry that verse. He will be able to bring that into, and so then he comes in and he introduces me to freshmen who like are coming in that he has taken under his wing or whatever. And so he's not one who attends my weekly events other than the lunch. But whenever I see him on campus or out and about in town, he's always waving. And so
That's awesome.
just making those connections.
Sure.
Yeah.
Giving witness of what is happening.
Yeah.
Or witness of God, what God is doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So if there's a local congregation in the Alva area or Northwest or now the West part of the state and the district now, which probably north of I-40, right? Because kind of closer. How can they reach out to you, and what are the ways that they can be in ministry with you?
Yeah, so we have our Thursday lunch is by far our best opportunity to serve. We have people who sponsor the meals. We're always looking for sponsorship of the meals, whether that's actually serving the meal or just sponsoring monetarily. We will accept it. We have had in our area, sponsorship of beef. If you have beef in the freezer,
Sure.
We can use the beef to create, some spaghetti or whatever it is that we can put on the menu, because we are feeding 120 to 150 students per week. And so that does add up, as we know, with the added cost of groceries and everything. We know that God is our provider, but we also know that we are the hands and feet of Jesus. And so those are ways. I am available. You can reach out to the Wesley at NWSU via Facebook or Instagram. Send us an email, and all of my information is right there online.
Thank you for being here today, and many blessings upon your ministry.
Thank you so much.
You heard here how to get in touch with Jody and the amazing work that she's doing and God is doing through her and through the ministry at Northwest in Alva area. So many blessings again.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
Blessings. Hello, you guys. I'm Carlos Ramirez, and I'm here today with Alex Jackson. He's the campus minister at UCO, and he's going to tell us all about it. So, would I introduce you yourself to the good people of Oklahoma?
Yes, I'm Alex Jackson. I'm the director at the Wesley Campus Ministry at the University of Central Oklahoma. I'm glad to be here.
Yay! So, what are the main ways that you guys reach out to the students in UCO?
Yes, well, I think the heart of our ministry is Tuesday night. We do a study and supper, so we gather for some fellowship time. Then we share a meal together. We find food always brings us together, and it seems such a Jesus thing to break bread with one another. And so we have a time of food and fellowship. And then we will enter into a study together. Sometimes that's a Bible study, sometimes that's a study on faith and culture, or sometimes maybe go and do an activity together. But Tuesday night is sort of our time together as a more intimate time as a group. And then Thursdays are our free lunch. That is our biggest outreach to campus. We're serving about 100 every single Thursday, which we couldn't do without the support of other United Methodist churches and organizations that partner with us and help us supply and then serve that meal. And we find that a great way to reach students. And that's another community. So Tuesday is a community, a more intimate community.
Right.
But Thursday's also a community. We get to know students. Sometimes they'll sit down and stay with us and talk and have conversations. And so that is another part of our ministry. We have some various outreaches that we try to do on campus. We also try to partner with actual offices at the university. Earlier this semester, we partnered with the Office of Counseling and Well-Being. We helped to supply some food and help them with an open house.
That's awesome.
Because we think it's important that students on campus know that there is a place where they can go to receive counseling and guidance. And we were surprised at how many students didn't know that. And so we felt like their agenda was also part of our agenda. We want to be a good news community, and we felt like that was important. And we do some various outreaches to other organizations on campus that gets us on campus, gets us connected to kids and meeting students and trying to be present there.
That's great. That's great. So can you tell the good people of Oklahoma how God is reaching out to the people, how God is touching their lives through the ministry of campus ministry at UCO?
Certainly. Two stories come to mind. With our free lunch meal, we got to meet a young man named Corey. And Corey would come at the beginning of our meal, which starts at 11 a.m., but stay through 1. And we would have great conversations. We found Corey was an older student on the GI Bill, loved to have conversations, loved to talk about faith, was always very complimentary, very thankful and grateful for that Thursday lunch ministry. And then one day, after we had had lunch and conversation together, we had some leftover pizza from the meal. We gave it to Corey, and Corey stood and came over to me, put his arm around me. We'd gotten to know each other pretty well by then, and just told me, I want you to know how much this meal means to me. I am on the GI Bill. I'm here as a student. I'm studying to be a music teacher, but there are times in the month where putting some food on the table is a little hard. And this meal really helps. And the fact that sometimes you give us the leftovers is a difference maker. And so I realized that sometimes that meal does meet food insecurity needs. And sometimes we don't think about the fact that almost 25% of college and university students almost 25% struggle to have 3 square meals. That's what that food insecurity does. And so I did find that a difference maker. With our Tuesday night ministry, where we have a chance to be a little bit more thoughtful and intimate, I know that we welcomed a student for the first time. It was one of our opening nights of campus ministry last year. They came Tuesday night, had supper, joined us for study. We did some guided meditation about what challenges might be ahead for them, about the joys in their lives. And then we went together in prayer. Afterwards, this student wanted to share with us that that was the first time that she had prayed in a decade. She was struggling with her identity. She was embracing a sexuality that her home church found frankly just not acceptable. And she said, I can't believe a place like this exists that welcomes me, but not only welcomes me, accepts me for who I am, and says that God accepts me as I am. It was a real touching moment for me to realize that we could provide that avenue, that connection, that opening, and it really wasn't me. It was the welcoming that the students provide. Or we are a smaller group, but sometimes we lean into that because sometimes students who may not find a place in other campus ministries on campus find their way to us, and we can embrace them and embrace them for who they are. And I find that God is really working through that. Those are two stories that come to mind. I hope that's
great.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah, that how as you said, the students and the community that you were building, it's opening and giving these spaces for people to be who they are and how God is calling them to be.
Exactly, and we think safe space is pretty important. We want folks to have safe space so they can build real relationships, not only with each other, but we hope eventually with God.
Yeah.
And we find, at least in our environment, providing a safe space to do that kind of opens the doors for those kinds of things to happen. And once that happens, then we can engage folks on what it means to share love, and then hopefully share justice as well. We try to do some projects that sort of lend itself to doing what we think is God's justice in or around our campus, our community, our world.
Definitely. So, is there how can people and or congregations who are in the Edmond area, give or take, in the northern Oklahoma City metro area, that may be interested in partnering with UCO Wesley Foundation, how would they go about it? How do they reach out to you, and what are the venues that they can plug in?
Yeah, so reaching out to me or reaching out to Edmond First United Methodist Church. We are deeply tied with Edmond First United Methodist Church. The University of Central Oklahoma is in Edmond. We are literally a tennis throw from the campus. So all those who may be in that vicinity, in that area, can reach out to Edmond First and contact me through Edmond First. And great ways to partner with us is first in just providing or helping to provide that meal. It's not easy to feed 100 students or more. We fed 115 last week. We've talked about food insecurity. We would love for folks to help us provide that meal and even come to serve that meal and get to meet these students, have interaction with them. That is one great way to help us serve. The other is to find out some of the things that we're doing in November and December for missional outreach to the students. We have some survival packs that we want to present to the marching band, to the dance company at UCO. We also want to create survival packets at exam time, so we can go on campus, hand out these packets to let folks know that we're thinking about them, that there are people that can be there for them if they have a need during these times of pressure and stress, but also that God loves them. And so those are great ways, I think, the meal and to help us with our outreach and missional projects.
All right, so would there be a list, or they can reach out to you as to what the survival packets may mean or something?
Yes, absolutely. We haven't quite set all those plans. I know in November we're going to reach out to the dance program. In December it would be to the general student body with packets that would help them know we're thinking about them during finals, which is I think the second week in December.
Right. So,
but if somebody wants to reach out through Edmond First and reach out to me, Alex Jackson at UCO Wesley, I'll be glad to find a place for you to plug in and connect with us and support us.
Also, so the easiest way is reach out to Edmond First, and you will get to Alex one way or the other.
Absolutely, yes.
That's right. Well, thank you for being here today.
No, thank you.
Thank you for what you do. Many blessings upon your ministry.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you for your support and for the questions today. Love being here.
Great. Well, you heard it here first, and see you soon. Hello, I'm Carlos, and I'm today here with Jalen Betts, and she's going to tell us all about Langston, which is a very exciting ministry happening in there. So, would you like to introduce yourself to the good people of Oklahoma?
Yes. Hi, like you said, I'm Jalen Betts. I'm originally from Anadarko, Oklahoma. My home church is Anadarko St. Paul. So I've been a lifelong Methodist since before I came out the womb. My grandfather is a pastor, my mom's a worship leader, and we are heavily involved, not just my family, but our church is heavily involved within our district and within our conference. And I'm so proud to say that we're one of the historically Black churches in the Methodist Conference. So I grew up going to youth district meetings. I was a part of CCYM growing up, and then that led me into the Wesley Foundation at Cameron, where I was actually an intern. And I was so blessed to have amazing directors, Monty and Galita Jones, who are absolutely amazing, and they really helped me to see what I wanted to do in my ministry. And so it came full circle, and now I'm here at the Wesley Foundation as the director, and I'm just trying to get the same inspiration to the students. So.
That's awesome. That's great. That's a great story. That's awesome. That the whole those who come before us and leave a legacy upon us. That's great. So what are the main outreaches that you have there at Langston that reaching out to people, students?
So the biggest one that we have is actually feeding our students. We know that Langston in the area is a really big food desert. Right. So it's important for us that we serve the student as a whole. And one of the places that we recognized was actually feeding them. So on Thursdays, we do our free lunches. We have churches that will come and serve. And then we also have started something new where our organizations on campus actually come and serve, which I absolutely love. So it's awesome. Students serving students, and I love it. Then we started something called Midnight Munchies. And Midnight Munchies is a time where we turn our space into virtually a restaurant/cafe. So we open it up to students. It goes from 11 to 2 a.m. in the morning. Wow. Students come in and they buy food, and we also have like students that run the kitchen. So we're also teaching them about, managing skills, helping them kind of pad their resume, but then at the same time, we're fixing that need that they have. I personally don't feel that students necessarily should be on the road. So if this is an option that we can have for them just to come across the street on a Thursday night and just to hang out at the Wesley TVs, do your homework, just hang out with friends, then that's what, we need to do. And it has been an amazing journey, just seeing people grow in their leadership styles, and then also watching people find out about the Wesley and seeing what we do, and it's been a really great fundraiser too. So
that's awesome.
Yes.
Hey, always good to support the ministry.
Right.
Do you have a worship or time of worship or time of Bible study or something like that?
We do. So we actually have worship on Sunday nights, and it's a very traditional worship, and we have a worship team. Y'all can come hear me preach. It is at 7:30, and we were actually feeding on that time as well. And then we'll do Bible studies on Wednesday nights at 7:30. And then what we actually started doing last year is opening it up to be on Zoom. So with that being on Zoom, we were able to get a lot more students to be a part of it. We still see that sometimes it's kind of uncomfortable coming into a space. A lot of them are coming by themselves. So this is kind of an option for them to just get online and, still get the word that they need.
Well, that's great. That's awesome. So with all the wonderful things that are happening at Langston, can you share with us one story that God is doing through campus ministry Langston in touching people's lives in there?
Absolutely. Well, I have two. So the first one is I actually have a student leader. She started out as a freshman. She came to our Girl Code, which is our women's group, and we have these bonfires every year. And from there, she wanted to participate. She let me know that she was leaving and she was going to transfer. So my job as her pastor, I guess, is to keep up with her and to make sure that she was doing well and everything. So she told me that she was coming back this year. And I was like, that's amazing. I'm so excited. And she just hopped back in where she left off. And it was just like no time passed at all. Awesome. And it's just a blessing to see that the impact that you have, even when you're not in the presence of the student or when they leave, and to just know that they have a space to come back and they just feel excited to be there. And that's what we're trying to do at the Wesley, is just to be open and loving and just be there when they're in that time of need. Second one is when I started the student leadership team last year, I got a lot of students who did not go to church. And I think that is powerful. And especially now when we're trying to figure out how we can reach the ones who are not churched, and how we can relate Jesus to the rest of the world. And I feel like not just my Wesley Foundation, but everyone else's is doing that groundwork.
Yeah.
Like we're just there to love. We're going to feed you. We're going to have worships. I write Bible studies that, you know, tailor to them. So like I did an Erica Badu one, which they absolutely loved. I did one at the end of the year that was about social media. And it was just about catering to what their needs are. It was about giving them opportunities. So I had students that got to participate in Project Transformation.
Awesome.
I had some that got to participate in CJAM because they have that heart of giving back, and they just want to feel that there's something that's real out there. And just by doing that and just being open and just saying, hey, this is your space, I feel like that's welcoming to the ones who are not really sure where their faith journey is.
That's awesome. That's
Yes.
great. That's great. So for local congregations that are in the Langston area, which that would be Guthrie and Stillwater area, give or take,
Perkins, yeah.
right? Perkins, yes, area. How can they come to you and say, okay, we would like to partner with you in ministry? What are the outlets for them to be plugged in?
So I'm so open to whatever the churches want to do. I know that we're kind of in a time where it's kind of hard to move around. So I'm blessed that we're in a season where the students want to give back. So anytime that I have the opportunity to say, hey, you know, we can come to your church and do some type of service from there. And that way you guys get the benefit, our students get the benefit, and then we get to build that connection and that relationship together. That is the number one thing that my focus is, especially this year. It's missional. I'm always looking for people to come and serve food. And food. Yes. Anybody that can cook, come serve, because I tell you, these students like to eat. They love to eat. And then, you know, we're actually doing a Thanksgiving dinner. This is something that we started about 2 years ago, and it's community-wide. And so this year, I'm so excited that we are actually going to be serving meals to those who are sick and shut in. And so it's a mission project, it's a worship, it's also a fellowship. And so any churches that are interested, please, 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 I'm looking at the camera, please reach out to me. It is going to be November 16th. It is going to be at 5:30. And some of you churches I already sent emails to, so I'll be expecting a return response. But if you are interested, please email me. It is info@gmail.com. And it is such a blessing because the last time we did it, we served over 150 people.
Wow.
And that's not just the university, that was the surrounding communities. And it is something that our students really need. They really need to know that people care about them. They need to know that they have a place, they can have, they can build a family, because being in college is such a tumultuous time, and we're trying to figure out what we're trying to do and everything, and the Wesley is here to be that bridge between the university and the community.
Right.
Yes.
And I've been in that campus, and I've been in the Wesley, and it is, compared to maybe other campuses and other Wesleys, Langston is very unique in the sense that the community around, I don't know if it is just a unique position where there is not as many resources as you would imagine it, like other campuses and other cities. It is kind of the campus, and I think that is the driving engine of that particular region.
Yes.
And the Wesley is part of it. And I think that Langston, it is in a very unique place, and so. I'm just saying that because that's something that struck me as something, well, this is not a typical or more common place, right?
Yeah, right, exactly. And it's coming in as the director, it was important to assess what the students need. And I think sometimes we kind of forget, and we're just like, oh, we need to build spiritual direction.
Sure.
But when we can't feel what their physical needs are, then they can't really hear what the Spirit is. So going off of the scripture in the book of Matthew, where he was separating the sheep and the goat, and he was saying, you know, when I was hungry, you fed me. When I was sick, you visited me. That is something that I really hold to my heart. If a student needs something and it's like, it's an emergency, I'm going to drop what I need, whether that's a ride to the airport to get home, whether that's, you know, I need some paper, I need a pen, I need Scantrons, I need to go to the store. You know, that is things that they need, and they'll always remember the people who came through for them when they were in most time of need. And I feel like in that moment, it also triggers something in them that, you know, oh, these people care. And then it also makes them want to give back. And that is the biggest blessing about being on that campus. And when you see other people give, it makes you want to give. And I'm, like I said, if we can be that bridge, then I want us to be that bridge and really, you know, take care of our students and take care of our community as well.
Can you remind us again how to reach out to your email?
Yes, so my email is, once again, it's info@gmail.com.
Great.
Yes, and it's all lowercase.
Lowercase. So that you can reach out to Jalen, and that you can be part of Langston's important ministry there, because it is a very, very unique but also great rewarding ministry happening in there.
Absolutely.
So thank you for being here. Many blessings upon your ministry.
Yes.
And see you soon, you guys.
Yes. Shout outs to all of my student leaders. I love y'all. Elsa.
Hello, you guys. I'm Carlos, and I'm here today with Corey Shirey. He's going to tell us all about his ministry at SWASU and what does that mean. So please, Corey, please let us know where you are and who you are to the good people of Oklahoma.
Yes, my name is Corey Shirey. I am the Executive Director and Campus Minister of the SWASU Wesley Foundation in Weatherford, Oklahoma. It's about an hour west of Oklahoma City on I-40. Unique thing here is I actually grew up in Weatherford. It's where I graduated from high school, then moved away from college, and a couple of years ago got the opportunity to come back and help with this ministry, and I've loved it ever since.
That's great. So what are the outlets that you guys do ministry there at campus with the students? What are maybe a couple things that you guys do mainly there?
Yeah, so, you know, it wasn't too long ago that I was in college. So one of the key features of our ministry is everything we do revolves around food.
There you go. I keep hearing that.
You are always offering free food to students with everything. So we've got a couple of home groups that meet that are tailored to specific groups of students. We've got a freshman home group. We've got an upperclassman home group. We have a new ministry we started last year partnering with Weatherford First United Methodist Church called Midweek Miracle. Weatherford First Church provides a meal and a devotion from 5 to 6.
Wow.
And then this semester, this fall of 24 semester, we're doing worship right after that at 6 o'clock at the Wesley. And then after we get done with worship, we take all the students who want to go out to Brahms for free ice cream.
Oh, that's cool.
And then, of course, like so many other Wesley Foundations, our biggest event of the week and biggest reach out is our free weekly lunch that we provide. That is provided by area churches coming in and either providing a financial support so we can cater it in, or coming in and bringing the meal and serving it.
Right.
So,
which day is that?
that's on Thursdays from 11:30 to 1:30.
All right, great. Yeah, I keep hearing a lot about food.
Yes.
It's a theme throughout, so that's cool. That's awesome. All right, so would you tell us, a story of a witness of what you have seen God acting in the life of people in your ministry that has been done through the Wesley?
Yeah, absolutely. So one student in particular, I'm not going to give his name because he's current student there, but he, his freshman year in college, he wasn't very active with student life. In high school, he was pretty extroverted, pretty involved with his church, with youth, with a bunch of different things. And when he got to college, he just something clicked and he just wasn't involved. Pretty much a dorm room hermit. By the end of his freshman year, his grandparent, who I had a good relationship with, had reached out to me and said, "Hey, noticing these problems, he's not forming connection, he's not forming community. Can you do something?" And I said, "Well, I'll reach out to him." Reached out to him, didn't hear anything back. Get about halfway through the summer, finally I hear something back. And he goes, yeah, I want to find a way to plug in. I want to find a way to connect. And we got him plugged in, and he has just transformed as a student because of the community he found at the Wesley. He's now active, very active, not just with the Wesley, but with several other student orgs on campus, building new friendships, new relationships. And he had recently told me that at the end of his freshman year, because of him not having connections with people, not having a good, solid community he could always fall back on, he was contemplating dropping out of college.
Wow.
And he's a first-generation college kid. So it's him being able to find a community here at the Wesley that it wasn't that we were his only location. It's that we gave him the confidence to be able to go out there and build those other relationships out.
That's awesome. That's great. That's great. So if there are churches, say, in the I-40 corridor, right, and south, maybe a little bit north.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, Yukon, Mustang, maybe Mustang is a little bit too, but still, yeah.
No, absolutely. We have churches.
Reno.
Kingfisher.
Kingfisher. Okay,
Yep, Kingfisher comes out and provides one of our meals.
Sure.
So.
I would even say all the way to Elk City, if you will. Anyway, all in that area, and they are interested and said, "Hey, I would like to be part of what SWOSU Weatherford Wesley is doing." How can they plug in, and what opportunities do you have for them?
So the easiest way for any church to be able to plug in to support the Wesley is with our Thursday meals. We are always looking for new churches to either provide a financial contribution to cater that meal in, or to cook a meal and provide it and come and serve it. It's a fantastic opportunity for local churches to begin building connections and relationships with students. But more than just building those relationships, it's just showing students that you care.
Right.
You know, the old saying, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
And so just showing that form of grace, that form of love by
great.
providing that meal.
Yes.
That is by far our biggest need. We've always got openings throughout the semester.
Yeah.
You can contact me by phone or by email, or on our website, swasuwesley.org. There's actually an online sign up that we have, so churches can go in and pick a Thursday that works best for them.
That's awesome.
To sign up. The other way is through a financial contribution, putting us as a part of your church's yearly budget. You know, like everything, costs have gone up the last couple of years, and we've had to reduce budgets in so many different areas. But reducing budgets doesn't mean we have less ministry to do.
Right.
We've got even more. It's doing
Right.
more with less.
Yeah.
So any financial contribution obviously goes a huge way in ensuring these students continue to have a home away from home, a community of faith where they can continue to grow.
So just again, can you tell again the website so that people can sign in there?
Yes, that is swasuwesley.org, SWOSU Wesley.org, and our phone number is 580-772-5511.
There you go, and you'll see here scrolling down on the lower thirds.
Yes, sir.
And thank you for being here, Corey. And there's anything last that you want to say to the good people of Oklahoma, if anything?
Thank you all for your support of campus ministry. I'm a product of college ministry. I first said yes to my call to ministry at the Wesley Foundation up at Northwestern when I was an undergraduate student. It's where I made the decision to go to seminary. It's where, the real tenets of my faith were built. So continue, please, to support your college ministries all over the Oklahoma Conference, but specifically the SWOSU Wesley, of course.
Excellent. Thank you for being here again. Thank you for all you do. Blessings in your ministry, and see you soon.
Thank you.